I like to talk about the John Steinbeck short story called Cannery Row. Um, I really liked this fiction when I read it. The story was wonderful and kind of a short, short story, right? Short fiction, and it's easy to read, but the way they talk about this particular story is to make you feel better. I think so, because when I read it, I felt so good. It's something to do with the this particular character, who is a marine biologist, Doc. His name is Doctor Doc, right? Okay, and he is like a little bit older figure who is kind of observing the scene of this Cannery Row, which is Montrey, California, and where they take the fish and they put it in a can, and the factories, factory facilities in that particular strip, and the story about that. So it's about this area's atmosphere, and I could even smell like a fish or something when I read this book. And it's also you get the sense of this California coast lifestyle, which is, I think I would say, even for the foreigners, the Japanese, for example, think about California is like wow, the typical American lifestyles or something, and that's kind of San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, and so forth in the city. But these are coastlines of California. So wow, and I thought, the coming from Japan, I thought I was the only one who think about that way, but that's not true. I think the whole entire United States, they see California as something special because it's the gold rush came and the people moved to the west, and California is the end of it, and it's representing the whole California is like San Francisco. It's very, very cultural and very intellectual to begin with, and along the coastline, Monterey, for example, Carmel, California, very, very the rich people live there too. And the movie industry, Malibu Beach in California, it's very, very out of the world, very expensive area, and movie industries and Hollywood and so forth. So you think about California that way, you dream about it. And when I was in Michigan, I was doing like a teaching assistant. That means you take care of the exams and some sessions of teaching and so forth for the students. And when I took a particular session, and I let those students to introduce themselves. They are, I think they are maybe more or less like a freshman, college freshman type of people. And so I'm from Michigan, of course, and I'm from the city somewhere else, and all this stuff. And but when people say California, from California, so people say, that they look them up. So the California is special. But anyway, this particular story, Cannery Row, is about this dog taking care of all these young hoodlums in that area, and those people don't have anybody to look up to. Dog is like a big figure and very intellectual, knowledgeable person that everybody count on, and so dog is kind of taking care of those young kids, and but regardless, I know they make mistakes and so forth, and it's a wonderful story there. But that particular sentiment that reminds me of me coming to the U.S. and not knowing English that well, and I was kind of trying to see who is nice to me, who was like a particularly I could be close to, because I needed somebody's help. Definitely, desperately, I needed people's help and everything. But in the U.S., it's a melting pot, right? And melting pot as a race, but also many people from different country coming, and especially with the students population, many foreign students coming from different area, and so seems like wow, you don't speak English well, and you felt like you were kind of estimated, mostly because you don't speak English well, and so somehow you become like dependent on somebody's help. And I was smart enough to know that I really have to make friends who are kind of a bigger figure, like a dog in this particular story, is like you can depend on, and you can count on whenever you have a problem or everything. And there's always those people there. Those people are like a students, same class students, or a little bit the graduate student or something like that, a little bit older, and so you get to know them at the dormitory, and so you make friends with them. So I have a couple of those people who are very, come to think of it, I really thankful, man. Lots of those, like maybe 3 people, I can come up with 3 great people who are students at the time, but also who are friends with me and took care of me and everything. So I have to think about it, because this story is about the particular dog, marine biologist. Is kind of everybody look up to, and he is taking care of those people, but regardless they make mistakes and everything. And so when I read this book, by the way, John Steinbeck short story, the tortilla flat, red pony, mice and man, Paul. And I read that the moon is down. I didn't read this one yet. But everything is very readable and very interesting story twist, very easy to read. So I tremendously recommend. If you don't want to read a big, fictions like Grape of Wrath and The East of Eden and so forth, this is a great starting point to get into Steinbeck. I love Steinbeck in American author the best. All the other authors also I like, but Steinbeck is, I think, the top rank for me. So they made this movie, Cannery Row, probably 1980s maybe, but that particular movie was kind of disappointing, and I didn't like that they focused on this particular relationship with this woman and the dog relationship or something, which I didn't like that because it's nothing the big in that particular short story itself. So movie is always, disappointing to me. Because of course when I read the story, read the book first and get into the movie. And so anyway, so that's my few cents today. I started to do a watercolor, and I have to show you. This is a picture, photograph I took, and I thought, wow, what a nice picture I could make. And this is beautiful pictures. This is when I went to England, Sissinghurst. Sissinghurst is the garden, which is very, Kent, located in Kent, and they have a nice white garden. That's why I went there to see the white garden. But if you stepped out from the garden, and it's countryside, and you walk around, and I think very wide field of nothing, the field and everything, and I just took this picture, and when I was taking up this inventory of my photograph, and I found this and I printed out, but this is kind of a beautiful photograph. So I try to make a painting out of this, and it's nothing, come out like that, but I'll show you. So this is the painting I did. It is difficult, but my style is very, very immature, like a elementary school kids type of painting. But I get better. I mean, today's watercolor technique is like a water wash and very beautiful color combinations and everything. And that's today's style there, and I try to get to that later, but not now. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing, and it is January 9th already, 2021. Okay, so have a good day. Bye.